what traffic you drive will indicate the types of the next lead and how percentage of your lead capture is. If you want $1 million leads, you should drive $1 million traffic.
Say officially hello to Brian. For those of you who don't know Brian, he's been around the block he's been around the big block.
Yeah, a lot of bootstrapping there, and a lot of productive platforms everybody uses. So if you don't mind, I can share my background a little bit.
Please do, man. Please do.
So started in the space about almost 20 years ago with the template websites like the Z57s and Advanced Access. Moved from that to help start and bootstrap Zerple. So we were the first ever behavioral marketing system. A lot of what we're talking about today, everybody knows that product, remembers it from ground zero. That was in my garage. And then left that to partner with Justin Tracy and Conversion to help them launch their platform and go to market. And it was, again, bootstrapping really. That became really a dominant platform, and then left that company to help Ned Stringham take that company and the inside real estate platform and help them launch KV Core. And then I took 2 years off, and I came back looking for a platform that could take it to another level and have that next level. And I knew Chime had some really great things they were doing. And when I learned about Lofty and what the future was for them, I thought, this is awesome. This can go to a whole nother level across the entire ecosystem and really drive that lead to what we call search to settlement, as opposed to the lead and just get leads and sell leads at close. Really wanted to be a part of an ecosystem management. So think of it as home ownership and creating an entire ecosystem that lives and breathes like a living organism, and all the lead stages and connecting them to search to settlement and then back to living organism again. So in other words, your leads go through a circle. They buy, they contract, now they come back into search and they want to look at their neighbors' houses again. Do you want them on Zillow, or do you want them in your organism, in your hospital, or in your thing? And do you want to keep that lead alive and going back and forth and staying alive? Well, this system provided the best opportunity to develop that. And they had the biggest breadth of, they're farther down the pipe than any other system in the space that I thought.
Yeah.
So here I am at Lofty. Nice to meet you guys again.
Well, thanks for jumping in, man. And our topic is what? 5 stages of lead conversion, right?
Yeah. So 5 stages of lead conversion every agent needs to know. And a lot of times we don't know what these stages are and how it works. So in other words, what are they? And it's there's a lot of bad information out there that causes a lot of negative engagement between us and the consumers, meaning we push people away more than we reel them in. So really 5 stages, understanding what stage they're in and understanding how you monitor and where those stages and what tools are good to use in those stages is what this is all about. Because at the end of the day, an ecosystem is managing all of these stages. I'm not talking CRM. I consider CRMs in the space today the morgue. That's where you send your leads to die. And if you've been on these calls where they live there and they sit there and we drip campaign them, no one likes getting it. The consumers are not responsive. So it's really a storage device like a freezer. And what we need to do is keep everybody warm. And so this is understanding these stages allow for that to happen through each one of those tools. So let's go in it. Kendra, want to take the next? Okay, so traffic. A lot of times when we're doing lead gen, we have to understand the first stage is traffic. Traffic can be anything from paid traffic. A lot of people think leads come from paid only. No, there's social media traffic. There's the myth of organic traffic, and then there's direct marketing. And as I go into each one of these, we have to understand paid traffic is paying for leads. And a lot of everybody within your ecosystem right now at LabCoats, they understand. They go and they buy things like social media traffic. They buy things like Google, Facebook, and they think that there's different qualities of leads in these traffic, but really they're just people. And if you get a social media person, like social media, like joining groups, this is more free traffic, not paid. So paid Facebook, paid Google, paid anything is paid. You get lead capture and you force registration. You guys live there, but that lead is no different than somebody that is on a social media post and guys goes to your website and opts in at that point. It's a social media, it's a free traffic lead, but it's still a lead. It's not better, it's not worse. And I'll talk a little bit about that as I see your confusion in your eyebrows squint. And then the myth of organic. Everybody wants to get SEO. Are we going to beat Zillow or Realtor.com on organic traffic? We're not. So the myth of organic traffic is free traffic. So one of my top teams way back when, not in real estate, he was a photographer, and all he did is take pictures of houses, and he anchor tagged them with a domain, and he loaded all those photos on thousands and thousands of photos of homes in the area and sunsets, about everything that he covered in the market, and he had it linked to, something in his website. He generated millions of free organic traffic.
I bet he did.
So when we think about creatively thinking about how we are driving lead or traffic, that's the first point. You can't get a lead without traffic. And so what traffic you drive will indicate the types of the next lead and how percentage of your lead capture is. If you want $1 million leads, you should drive $1 million traffic. Okay, it's just that simple. So we have to focus on the first stage is what type of traffic you're getting. And so now on these 4 things, I'll ask everybody that's listening in, and I ask you, Tristan, of these 4 types of traffic that I have listed here, because it's really only 4. If you think about it, there's social, there's paid, there's organic traffic, and there's direct flyers, mailers, postcards, open houses, signs. Of these 4 types, and there's a million different versions, which do you think is the most productive from a revenue standpoint?
Well, I can tell you what we've done, and you can answer what you've experienced. And ours is definitely paid, but through Google PPC. That's how we've been able to break through luxury markets.
That's great because you're targeting a specific niche. But if you go to agent across the board, direct marketing also includes for referrals, friends, family, signs. So 80% of all transactions in real estate come from direct marketing of some sort, referrals, friends, family. It may start with a paid lead, but then you get 5 referrals off of it. That's direct marketing. You're marketing to a direct sphere, people you can influence. So when I talk about these things, it eye opens that lead gen is all of these things, because lead gen comes from traffic. And so agents have to pick the type of traffic that makes sense for them to put it in the right ecosystem. Fair?
Yep, fair.
So if you're looking to understand types of leads, they all start with the type of traffic you generate. So people listening in, what I would encourage you is if you're going to go to a platform like a Lofty, they better have all the tools necessary to maximize the ROI on traffic. You better have a PPC management system that allows for you to drive PPC, or have a management system to have it. If you have a product, you should have automatic, like AI social posting services that automatically post all of your social automatically without you doing work. Those are things that Lofty offers. Make it easy. Myth of organic. You better be able to offer a way to go SEO, but all the different types of organic traffic should come into landing pages, squeeze pages, all these things to capture that, right? Otherwise, you're buying leads and not actually buying a system. And if your leads originate in your system from the start, your conversion rate to end goes up astronomically higher than if you buy a lead from Zillow. It's much harder to convert that lead because it didn't originate with you.
True.
So, and then direct marketing, text codes, flyers, sign writers, all this has to be supported. Open house apps, all the tools that you do, referral-based marketing, having ways to network with other agents so that you can refer business to other agents outside of the market. All of these things should be in one ecosystem of traffic. And at Lofty, we have the most dynamic traffic sources. We have them all in one ecosystem. We can do the Facebook marketing. We can do dynamic Facebook ads. We can do the cascade ads. We can do social texting. We can do all that. We have AI that's built. I'm not trying to make this a pitch. I'm saying if you're not asking what are the traffic sources you support when you think about products and you're just buying leads, you're not really creating an ecosystem effectively, and you spend a lot more money looking around for something, and that's the merry-go-round approach. So this is the most critical thing of the stage, is what sets off. If you want types of leads, you're doing it great with pay-per-click because you're targeting a specific niche of price point. That's great, but you're targeting traffic for that.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next one. Traffic is lead capture. Lead capture means that what are the lead capture? Home evaluation, text codes, landing pages, squeeze, open house apps, anything that you have somebody register on, or you have a direct call, right? Call me, talk to me. If they're not capturing either name, email, phone number, or a call, then how are you capturing a lead? So you have to have a system that has a variety of ways to capture traffic into leads. So those tools need to be automated. They need to be in a smorgasbord of different things that you can create custom. So if you want a luxury market, right? So organic, yes, correct. I know you guys are answering questions. I just saw that. So,
Yep.
but even our organic traffic, how do you capture leads and organically? Do it through AI chat because you can't force them to register. So you better have a good dynamic way to capture that engagement organically. And that's all part of this lead capture. So I do a lot of audits on people's sites and I go, where's your lead capture? Show me how it goes. And they say, well, I don't want to force them to register. Well, on pay-per-clicks, if you don't force to register, then you're not going to make any money. And if your capture rate's not 10%, you're not making any money.
Yep.
But if you have organic free traffic, you better have dynamic engagement on your site that you're driving that to get them to register. You have to perfect this, or you have to work with companies like Lofty that will optimize that effectiveness and give you teams to do that if you want to have a consult with a traffic guru, which we offer. So the point is you better have lead capture. Instead of buying leads, you better have a system that works with you in all scales across all forms of lead gen in one system. That's kind of traffic. It's really easy, traffic lead capture. Any questions about that, Trish? I know you do this well, but
No, there was a good question just in case people didn't understand why you would use them. Text codes, squeeze pages. So Lisa, great question. Text codes we typically would use on open house signs for more information or at open houses or on postcards. Anytime that you can lead people to get more information by typing in a code,
we're scanning it.
or scanning it, correct? You get their info. Same with squeeze pages. They can either fill out their info to get your 10 best tips for selling a home in spring or whatever you're using your squeeze pages for.
And
But that's the idea.
yeah, and Tristan, for that point, before we get in the prospect, I find it really dynamic today because we lived in COVID where everybody started scanning that stupid code for menus now. So
Yes.
imagine thinking of a flyer for the home that you have in a neighborhood. You're giving them a scan code to the menu to the home.
Yeah.
That's what they are. And no matter what you do, if you don't have that, so I have a really good, funny use case on this. Whenever I do these types of demos, and at the end, I'm going to give a scan code. Well, I did a talk for 800 people, and it was like this. And at the end, I said, great, scan this code. But I had it in the system. So when you scan the code, it started beeping. I had a microphone up, and 800 people scanned the code and went beep, 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 beep. And I said, those are all leads. And then I said, is John in the room? And because it scans the code, you get the lead, and then you try to reverse engineer that stuff to find out what social media connections they have. This is all automated.
Yeah.
So this is a way for people to create lead gen. If you send flyers, mailers, that's just traffic. If you just say, I hope you call me, hope's not a strategy.
Yeah.
You have to perfect a way for people to reach out to you. And most systems don't have text codes or smart numbers or automatic dialers and all these things built in to be able to drive that. That's why they buy leads, because they don't have systems that are automated to build all that out. And yeah, it's a learning curve because most people don't understand, or most agents don't understand that these types of systems exist, and they think, I want the lead, I don't want to learn this. Well, but that lead didn't originate with you. And so your conversion rates drop. So really quick, the next stage, so we have traffic, we have lead gen. Go back to that slide. And now we have prospect. I want to really stop by saying we're right here, understanding the origin of what a lead is. A lead is somebody that has a way for you to communicate. It's not somebody who wants to buy. It's not a quality lead. It's just a restaurant full of people, and they're either a homeowner or renter. And you know, I've done this with you before.
Yep.
It changes everything. So everybody listening in, you can go to a party and I could talk to somebody at a bar about a list power analysis that owns a home and get a deal. They're a lead. If you wake up, you're lead gen. If you have a car with a license plate, you're lead gen. If you do anything in real estate, every person, man, woman, and child you come in is a lead because they're a homeowner or renter. Someday they're going to transact. No matter what you do. So I'm going to challenge everybody listening to this to change your mentality from lead to prospect and understand that all leads have the same value. It isn't about intent to buy. It's about your ability to keep them alive in your hospital and make them buy with you when they do buy. And that's why we have low capture rates. So Tristan, with your team, if you were to say, I told you that your AI could create a lead and you could know whether it was a homeowner or renter before you ever reached out to them, would you be able to craft a much better message and a much better conversion process for them?
A
If you
lot,
knew a
man.
lot better, right?
Hell yeah.
So, but when a buyer and seller, if I have a million leads, how many are actually in the buy stage that can buy, that can transact, that are ready to transact and don't have a realtor? And when you treat them like a buyer, all you're pushing away is everybody who's just wanting to check out things.
Yeah, because we tend to treat everyone in our database or that comes through our database equally, and that's the biggest mistake.
And that's the biggest mix. So I want this value of everybody listening on that leads and traffic are potential clients or prospects. And so understanding that right here is nurture. And the biggest challenge in the space that we have for everybody from Zillow who gets on appointment set, 4 to 7% that's on flex, right? You know this.
Yep.
There's no nurture. There's no long-term nurture that's promoting this idea of engagement. CRMs are not nurture. CRMs are spam. CRMs are where you send the leads to go and get drip campaigns. They're self-promotional that are trying to DQ people because you don't want to waste time with somebody who's not it's a lead that's not a transaction. So you're pushing people away from your system and you're creating a morgue because you're using the wrong tool for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Nurture is about listing alerts. 98% of engagement of leads in nurture are from alerts. CRMs are not alerts. You have to have an ecosystem of IDX. All leads go into IDX and they live right here. And nurture is to create prospects. A prospect, which is the next stage, is somebody you've talked to. You know something about them. They've told you their intent. They've answered the phone. They've responded to an email. They've given you a stage where they're no longer nurtured. They've intended to say, yeah, I'd like some information from you. Yes, I would. That moves them from lead to engagement or prospect. A prospect is somebody you actually have a physical conversation and exchange of information with. It's not 90 days out. How many people put them in 90 days but forget to move them out of 90 days? So they have a lot of leads in 90 days for 2 years.
Every time, buddy.
That they put them in and they put them in the morgue and they're just sitting there cold because they forgot about them. But if everybody's in prospect stage, you know that they're working towards some sort of conversation. Those are prospects. So as we move to the next from prospect, we go to client. So prospects are people that are now prospect to client is where your CRM is. It's a relationship management tool. You know something about it. You can put them on the right path. You can do the lofty CRM here. You understand what's going on. You've talked to them. And CRMs are designed to take prospects and convert them into clients and opportunities of viable leads and viable nurture. You can work with clients and prospects that narrows down nurture. You're only working with the people one-on-one that have intent to purchase in the next 90 days. Those are client relations. You're still going to miss out on those, but you can perfect that stage. That's where the real estate agent should be living, is the client, the prospect, and right there. They shouldn't be worried about nurture. You have a system that nurtures your leads. Your CRM is what you work off of to manage your clients. It's a definition of a CRM, client relationship management, not lead management. Client relationship management. So that's where your leads live in the CRM, and it's dynamic. Listing alerts, but you have conversations with them. So any questions about this as I go through these definitions? So your homeowners become either renters, your clients are people that now are purchasing, buying, they're selling, they're in that prospect. You know they're a homeowner, you know they're a renter, you know they're buying, you know what they need to go. You could put them on credit repair, you could put them on down payment assistance. You've had conversations with them. You can manage that life with a CRM more effectively. Your AI can manage that conversation more effectively. Nurture is completely different. So the question I challenge is, what are you using to nurture your leads? What's your primary focus? You have 1 million leads. Are they in the morgue? Or are they a living organism that's engaging through property alerts that you're asking questions where you physically don't do it, but you have AI asking them the right questions while they're searching? What are you doing to create that living organism of life? Life is that they're engaging somehow through clicking. Clients and relationship, they're engaging with you. That's prospects. Any questions about that?
No, man, just a couple of questions on where do people sign up? Jake put in the
At the
link
end
there.
of this conversation, we have one more stage to connect everything together. And then at this end of the conversation, what we're going to do is we're going to put a consult where they can do a one-on-one consult. And that
Mhm,
consult should be how there's 2 things I'll talk about at that point. Okay.
mhm. Gotcha.
So go to the next stage. Now in client, we have then from client, we have contract stage and lifetime value. That's the end. That's the full circle. Search to settlement. So when you go your clients, they go into contracts, you're under contracts, and you have post-transaction. All that stuff needs to be in your ecosystem too, right? That's the big part. That's the heavy lift for agents. How do
Mhm.
they have, the agent can only do like anywhere from 7 to 16 people at one time in the contract stage. How do they manage all that? Plus manage the CRM, plus manage it. This is the big time suck, right? So you need a system that helps you with transaction management, ties to your dot loops, integrates that, optimizes that for your team and your agents. That this is where AI has the biggest impact and frees you up to do more lead gen, more marketing, more advertising. And again, this has to be part of one ecosystem. The lead starts here and they finish here in one dynamic flow, no matter where the leads come from. And the CRMs are not designed to provide the lifetime value because they don't do the front end of this house. So you have to understand that it's one stereo system, one iPhone, one product that works through your whole ecosystem. So one thing I'll say on this last thing is, what is lifetime value to you? For everybody here, what is creating lifetime value for somebody who registered on Google today? What is lifetime value mean to agents? That's the most important thing we provide as an agent is lifetime value. I want that lead to go to a prospect, to go to client, and then tell their aunt, their uncle, sell the lead again. Lifetime value means that when you make somebody a homeowner, that is an asset that you keep in your database forever. And that asset produces more lifetime value over friends and family. And what are your
Mhm.
systems doing to create lifetime value for the customers? Everything about SaaS, because you're in the SaaS business, Tristan, is about creating lifetime value for homeowners and renters. And are we really doing that by sticking them in a CRM and forgetting about them? No.
No.
And that's why they're arguing with us. That's why they're fighting for commission. That's why they're devaluing us as an industry. It's because we lost our passion to create homeowners and renters and be a lifetime value consultant for them. We've lost that because we went to, hey, buy a bunch of leads, make some calls, and only want to work with leads that want to buy now.
That's we only are showing up for people when they're actively in search, right? We've forgotten about the other. Well, now what? People live in their homes. Let's just talk about homeowners. 10 years before
Yeah,
they sell, right?
right.
And what happened to the whole other 9.5 years while they're living in their home?
We're not that's the thing, and it's drives me nuts for 17 years, but the top agents are doing that because they have the money, $50,000 a month marketing commercial things. They create that, but the average agent that works for a broker isn't getting that from the broker. They're not getting a wealth creating system. If a broker buys Lofty, their agents get a full marketing system, full lead gen, full advertising, full postcard, flyers, mailers, everything they need to run a business by themselves. And it's private, which means they own the domain, they own the rights to the system. If they leave the broker, they can take it with them. So at the end of the day, why are agents demanding a wealth building system from their brokers? Why? If a broker buys our system, the agent gets charged whatever they tech fee of $50. If they buy it independently, it's more expensive for a big system like this. It won't go into cost, but your cost for these types of systems for independent purchase will be anywhere from $400 to $1,500 for some of these that aren't even full systems anymore. They're just lead gen.
Yep.
So let's go to so as the questions answer, what is this all about? You can do your scan code here. and we'll have people that will to answer your questions. It's not a hard pitch. It means it's a comparison consult to what you're doing and are in asking real hard questions. Am I really creating a wealth creating system that stays alive and manages that for the entire time that I'm in the real estate business? So my leads never go anywhere else. They stay alive, and I don't have to go outside of my space to create value for me as a business person. And how much is that worth to do? And then can I get it through my broker? And team building, routing leads, managing your teams, but managing your agents. I'm doing a consult after this where he's like, how do I get more out of my agents? I'm like, well, get your agents to generate 50 leads a month. If they're not generating 50 leads for themselves, how can they manage 50 leads from you?
Exactly. That's a whole nother webinar.
That's a whole nother webinar. But did you provide a system for that? Or are they just sitting around twiddling their thumbs waiting for a new lead to call? There's no ownership in that. So if you want to take ownership of your business and provide ownership opportunities for your agents, we're a great fit. If you want to be a broker and provide ownership opportunities for franchises and teams and agents in one ecosystem, we're a great fit. If you want to be a single agent and build a business and provide a business resource, like your own full-on ecosystem to run your business like a true entrepreneur, we're a great fit. If you want to buy a CRM that sends your leads into the morgue, honestly, and just manages it, and you just work your referrals, you don't want to spend money to run a business, there's lots of options for that. And it's not a negative thing, because there's lots of agents that sit in a bar, right, Tristan? I have one. He sat in a bar.
Yeah.
In a multi-million-dollar area. He did 12 to 15 transactions a year.
It works, but not for everybody. But
it
yes.
doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for the brand new agent. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody listening in here is really about understanding that you have 5 types of stages, 5 lead stages, and you have technology to support all of those stages. And at the end, you'll make more money. Now we can do future webinars around scripts. So if you want me to, if you have enough time, I can give them a script that works for all the stages. And it's a universal script.
Yes, let's do it.
You want to do that? Because you know the script.
Do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. So everybody listening in, if all the stages are the same, then no matter where the lead comes from, they all are either a homeowner or a renter. And the goal of engaging a lead for the first time, you want to engage a lead that you have the best chance to convert every single person on one call, no matter where they came from. I call it the universal script. So Tristan, you can be my guinea pig.
Go.
And understand, I've used this in person. I've used this live, and Tristan knows my story. I've used it at a party, and I made a bet with a realtor that I can close anybody at this party. You can pick them out, and I'll close them for you, and you'll get a deal. Because he asked me, how do I get more deals? And it worked. He bet me, and I won the bet off one person. He got to pick the person. I've done it 4 times, by the way, and I'm 4 for 4. Okay,
All right.
So this works. So ready, Tristan? I'm gonna call you.
All right,
email
go.
you. Doesn't matter. Hey, Tristan, I noticed you were on I sell real estate and whatever, and you did some searching really quick. And I'm doing some random research for you right now. I want to introduce myself. I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how are you, Brian?
Good. And I have a quick question, and I'll let you go as I do this research. You're a homeowner, right?
Yeah, I am.
Great. I do. Great. So as I'm doing this for you, I always talk to homeowners, and I always talk about, have you ever had a list power analysis from anybody?
What is that?
So you're mine. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, I've never had that before, which is perfect.
It's just a CMA that analyzes your listing CMA value versus what your buy value is. Because I know you're a homeowner, and I tricked you into telling me you're a homeowner. If I asked you, are you a homeowner? That's a personal question, and they run away. So I gave you a statement of service. I introduced myself. Nice to meet you. You said, nice to meet you back. And that just gives you room to talk. They're not going to say, hey, I don't want anything. I didn't call you going, hey, I noticed you're looking at this home on Zillow, and would you like to take a look at it? Ha, ha, ha. I have a lot of great information about this home. Would you like to see it? What are you looking for? Blah, blah, blah. That's a 1% chance of conversion. This is a 100% chance of conversion, because you're converting that person on a path. You told me a homeowner, Great. You've never had a list. So as a list power analysis, you want to understand what your list power is versus your buy power. Since you're on the site searching on Zillow, you probably have a home you want to list and then potentially someday buy otherwise. I don't know, one of those two things at some point, right? So your
Yeah.
starting point, Tristan, is we like to do a consult to give a list power analysis. So no matter where you go, you're on the right path to know what your listing power is versus your buy power. It takes about, I can do one even right now with you. It takes about 5 minutes. You down?
I'm down. Let's do it, man. We're already here.
So we're on a path moving forward. Once I put you on that path, I'm 85% likely to list your home when you do list because I did work for you. I did something of value. If you would
Yeah.
have said you're a renter, I'd say, great, I do a rent power analysis. Obviously, if you're searching, you want to rent to buy someday, you want to buy someday, right? You don't want to
Yeah.
rent forever. So have you ever had a rent power analysis to understand what you can rent value versus buy value?
No.
That really focuses on the credit repair, down payment assistance, and what your rent cost is, right? Value is now versus what the buy value is based on the market conditions we're in. It takes about 5 minutes to get started on it. You've never had that done yet?
No, I
You're mine. We're
haven't.
done. We're done.
Dude, you could just supplement list power analysis, a buyer power
It
analysis,
doesn't
rent power.
matter. I just know they're a homeowner or renter. Everybody's one or the other. So it's a universal script. It doesn't matter intent. I'm not looking for a buyer or seller.
Yeah. That's
That's on a
funny.
conversation. You can do it on a so if everybody listening in, I just wanted to give a little bit of value at the end of this conversation and know that this is about stages of the lead and everybody is in homeowner renter stage. So no matter
Yeah.
what stage they're in, if you have the right communication around, you can create real value and maximize every call, every text, every email until you know they're a prospect and they tell you where they're in. They tell you that they're a homeowner. They tell you. I'm working on this right now with a bunch of teams and it works. It's a universal script. And by the way, Tristan, isn't that your job as an agent to make homeowners be able to sell and buy a home someday? And your job is to turn renters into homeowners.
Yeah. We
That's our
want to help.
business.
Yeah.
Want to
We
help.
want to help.
And they come to us first. And all we're
That's
going
it.
is, are you ready to buy? Because they want to buy or seller. And you skipped all the stages to get there.
Yeah. And look, I saw a few raised hands. You could put
Yeah.
your question into the chat. It's not too late.
Yeah.
But also Jake put up the link if you're interested in Lofty. Brian, what would you say is a good session for our next one based
I'd
on this?
love to do the top ways to convert. So around this script session. So really develop a good engagement process of what to do in each one of these lead stages, or like what is the proper way to engage? So what's the proper way to nurture? What's the proper
Ooh,
way to talk to prospects? What's
I
the
like that.
proper way to talk to clients? And what's the proper way to ask for referrals?
Let's do that.
Sound good?
That's really good. Action
Okay. And
makes
yeah,
sense.
makes sense. It builds on this. And I've done this before because at the end of the day, who can write? Everybody has a different way they call. I'm like, no, you don't. You have this. It's not different. It's really not. There's no secret sauce to this,
No.
right? And so this way you perfect your engagement. And then the final way, I think one more after this that I think people can get into is focusing on creating a traffic or a traffic matrix. So they understand where in different ways that they can use technology like Lofty to create. That's the hardest part agents have. It's great to manage how you talk to stage and how you communicate. Now, how do you feed the people into the system? What are the best ways? Buying leads on pay-per-click's not right for everybody, but going to a farmer's market and creating a home purchase program at farmer's market with a rental to buy program at a farmer's market, it's no cost and you meet hundreds of people and doesn't cost you any money.
Yeah. There you go.
So what are the ways that agents can drive the traffic into their conversion plan?
Now,
That's the third one.
what to do next,
Yeah.
right? How do we do this? I think that's where we lose a lot of people. So that would be perfect.
That's the
Uh,
one question I get. And I know they're going to ask some questions, Tristan, but when I'm doing this in person in front of hundreds of people, I have them write down, give me 2 ways you can drive a lead into your system or get a lead, and nobody can fill out 2 ways to do 10 in a week. They don't know. And so let's get them solid on lead gen, solid on what to say, and then we'll say, here's how you fill your pipeline.
yeah, that's it. And Deborah, you've got a great question there. What Lofty has, they've got they've already got pre-built drips that you can add, right? But Brian and I, when we go in and talk on our next session, he's going to get really specific as to, depending on what stage they're on.
We'll show some stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be a great one for you, Deborah. But
Do
in
you
the
mind,
mean,
let me ask that question a different way? Lofty is a complete system. So your leads, you have to have your website, you have to have your brand site with SEO. We have that. You have to have all the different forms of traffic opportunities. So whether it be social media posting, Google posting. So it's either you can do it yourself or we have automation that does it for you. You just have to choose what path is right on the different traffic programs. Traffic is not free. There are ways to generate free traffic, but Google pay-per-click, paid ads, you're not giving me money. That's money we're spending on your behalf to do the work for you to drive the lead. These are all built in. So we have Facebook, social, all the lead gen too, as well. You can do lender partnerships, all that to increase your overall spend. We have low cost ways where you can generate 10 to 30 leads a week or a month with as low as $59 a spend. And they're really good leads. So it's for every agent size. You know, everybody can spend $1,500, $3,000 on pay-per-click, but spending $50 a month or a week to drive 10 to 30 leads, you have those programs available here. So, and then we have all the CRM components, the transaction, the management of the leads, the full breadth of AI support is, you know, how to create your contact with your drip campaigns. That's not a big focus. I want to emphasize that's not the focus agents should be worried about. They should be filling their system of automation with leads. They need to focus on how to get leads. If you have a CRM, they're never going to manage a CRM, and you're not going to program a AI. Okay.
yeah,
Your job as an agent is get traffic into more automation, and let the system create clients for you. And if that system doesn't, most systems don't have a way of nurture. So you should be asking, how does your system, the best question when you ask our reps is, if I'm kidnapped, I'm asleep, I fall asleep at the wheel, what does your system keep me on the road? How is your system a hospital keeping my leads alive? How am I staying alive in automation? Because everybody has a CRM, right, Tristan? Whoop-de-doo.
yep,
It's been the same for 17 years. What does your system do for me to keep my leads alive when I'm in a coma? I'm not able to function. And you have thousands of leads. You need that system. You cannot sit in front of a fishing pole and have 5,000 fishing poles and watch them all at the time to know when somebody's nibbling. If you don't have a system that reels in that lead a little bit, gets them set, gets them ready, turns them into a prospect for you, you need that. That's the system every agent needs.
yeah.
And
Very
frankly,
true.
90%, 99.5% of the systems out there are not built for that.
Very true, man. Very
And I don't
true.
want to talk about competitors here, because I can talk about which systems they need to purchase or not. We're talking Lofty, but right now there's maybe 3 or 4, a couple have been purchased, are not really options anymore. There's probably 2 or 3 systems that are right, because everybody's kind of checked out now, and you know that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, Brian, thanks, man. We could probably go.
Thanks. Appreciate your time. I can't wait for the next meeting.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thanks,
Have a good
everybody.
one.
Questions,
Thanks.
reach out to us
Yep.
or reach out to Brian. And this is recorded going on to the YouTube channel. So
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Look forward to the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.